In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your Nikon Z6ii or Z7 or even your Z5 to do HDR photography. Welcome back to the channel. For those that have not been here before, my name is Ron. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your Nikon Z6ii, Z7 or Z5 using a memory bank presets and how to set it up to do HDR photography. Now we're going to use memory preset number 1, okay? So the first thing I want to do is I want to program my camera with all its manual settings and then save it to user bank number 1. So the very first thing you want to do is you want to turn your camera dial on the left hand side of your camera to M for manual. And do that first. So once you do that, we're going to change the manual settings and then we're going to save this to a user preset. So when you turn the dial to that user preset, these settings will always come back up. So the first thing I want to do is I want to change the shutter speed. This one is at 1/640th of a second. You turn the back dial, okay, to lower that, and I want to lower that to 1/60th of a second. And then the other thing you want to change is the aperture. So on mine, I like to run my lenses at f8. So I'm going to dial that back to f8. And then this setting here, the camera is showing you now, is at ISO 640. So what I'm going to do is take that off of automatic by pushing down the ISO button and turning the front dial, which removes it from automatic. And we're going to leave the ISO at 100, okay? If you need to change that, you just hold down the ISO button and you can turn the back dial to change that. Okay, now we have set the camera up in manual mode using the M setting, and we're going to save this to user preset number 1. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. The first thing you want to do is hit the menu button on the back of the camera to get into your menu. Then you go down to the wrench icon, which is your setup menu, and you go over to the right and you save user settings and you select save to U1. Okay. And you just hit the right arrow key and hit save, okay? Now, these settings are now set into U1. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the top dial back over to U1. And as you can see, there's the settings there under U1, okay? Now, everything else we're gonna do is while the camera is set to U1. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna hit the menu button again. And this time we're going to go into the little pencil icon, which is the custom setting menu. And then what we're going to do is navigate down to controls, which is F. Let me make myself just a little bit smaller here so you can see that. So we're going to go into F under controls, hit the OK button, and we're going to customize the I menu. Now I'm going to show you my full customization for my user setting 1 for landscape photography. Hit the OK button. And in the first box I have flash mode. The second box I have image quality. I have focus peaking. The auto bracketing. This is important. If you don't have auto bracketing, you need to put this in a box right here. And I like to keep mine right in this position. So I'm going to go and show you how to do that. You press OK while you're on that box, okay, right there, and it's going to let you select different items. Now I don't know what yours is set for, but the one you want to find is auto bracketing. Hit the OK button to save that, and in the next position you want the release mode options. So I don't know again what you have in your box, but you want to make sure release mode is over there. The rest of it is for your own settings. This is your autofocus area mode, and then your focus mode, your vibration reduction, your memory card info, your metering, the image size, which can be either FX or DX, and then your white balance settings. So those are the options I have for my user number 1. You can set yours up the same way if you want to. The biggest ones we're concerned with for this video is the auto bracketing and the release modes. Once you're done, hit the menu button. So now that you've set up the I menu, you need to save these settings again in user 1. So you go back to this side over here, go down to the setup wrench, go over to save user settings and select save to U1, press the OK button. I did a couple times just to make sure. So now we have saved the manual camera settings for shutter, for aperture, and for ISO. We have also saved some settings in the custom I menu to do HDR photography. And now we're ready to use this camera to do HDR photography. And let me show you how we actually use the camera to take the photographs you want. So I'm going to leave the menu options and get out of here. And what we're going to do now is, as you can see, it's a little dark right there. I'm going to drop the shutter speed down here to about, I don't know, 3 seconds. Now I'm setting on a tripod with this camera, so I know it's going to be steady. So we can practice a few HDR shots here. So once I have my composition set, let's just say we use out a waterfall or what have you, and I have my base exposure setting. Okay, if you look at the exposure needle on the right hand side, I like to shoot mine about 1/3 to 2/3 of a stop. If you see, look on the right hand side, underexposed. So this is my base exposure, 5 seconds at f8 at ISO 100. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set this up for my HDR shooting. So while I'm in this mode right here, the shooting mode, I hit the I for the I menu. And now you can see those boxes we set up. And if you'll notice, auto bracketing is turned off. The first thing we need to do is turn it on. So you hit the OK button on that box, and you hit the down arrow, use AE for auto exposure. Go down here and tell it how many shots you want the camera to take. We want 3 shots. Normally, because of the high dynamic range of the Z6ii, what I normally do is I usually do 2 stops over and 2 stops under for the blending process. So we're going to leave it at that. If you wanted to change it, you could go down here, hit the down arrow, and then you can change it to 1 stop, 3 stops. I think 3 stops is the most. So I do 2 stops. Once you've got that finished, then you're going to hit the OK button. And now auto bracketing is turned on. The next thing I like to do is I like the camera to take the 3 images when I hit the shutter button the first time. Instead of you having to hit it 1, 2, 3, if you do this, the camera will take all 3 images when you hit the shutter button. So I go over here to the release mode and select that with the OK button. And then I go all the way over to the end where it says self timer. And right now I have it set for 5 seconds. And it's going to take 1 shot. Okay, it's going to delay, the timer is going to delay for 5 seconds, and then the camera is going to take 1 shot. I want the camera to take 3 shots because I'm doing bracketing. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to increase this to 3 shots. Again, the camera is going to wait 5 seconds when you hit the shutter button, and then it's going to take 3 photographs. So I'm going to say OK again, and now it's ready to take the photographs. All I have to do is hit the shutter button. I'm going to go ahead and do that now so you can see it take the 3 pictures for you. If you'll notice in the top right hand corner, it shows the auto bracketing symbol, and it says there's 3 of 3 photographs left to take. And here we go. I'm going to take the first, going to hit the shutter button now, and it's going to do its thing. 5-second delay. First shot. Second shot. Third shot is 20 seconds. We got to wait 20 seconds for that shot. Okay. See how easy this is? You only have to hit the shutter button 1 time. That's it. So you set this up on your user dial. We already configured the I menu and all that. All you have to do is change the settings when you... so there's all 3 shots. If you want to review them, I'm going to hit the review. And this is the first shot, which is the base exposure. This is the 2 stops underexposed, and this is 2 stops overexposed. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to blend these in Lightroom to get your HDR image, okay? Anyways, that's how you do that. And one thing I want to mention here is I'm going to go back to the I menu and show you. It's going to remember these settings until you turn the camera off, okay, or it goes to sleep. One of the things Nikon does not do is the release mode does not get saved in a user setting. You have to turn it off and on manually by yourself. And that's this mode right here where the 5-second timer is, okay? It'll stay at single frame, but it will not save it in the user settings. Anyways, I'm going to turn the camera off. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to user number 2 to get away from user 1 settings. And you can see that that I menu is very similar to the first one. I'm going to go back to user 1 and I'm going to hit the I menu, and you'll notice auto bracketing is not turned on and it's back to single timer. And we'll go ahead and show you how that works again. I'm going to turn auto bracketing on, okay? 3 shots, and then we're going to go over here to the release mode, 5 seconds, 3 shots. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move to user number 2 setting, memory setting, and then I'm going to come back to user number 1, and I'm going to show you, it remembered the 5-second timer. That's kind of odd. Let me see here. Let's find out. Let me turn it all the way off and see. I might be wrong about what I just told you. No, I'm not. It was just because I didn't have it turned off long enough. So anyways, that's how you set your camera up, your Nikon Z6ii, to do HDR bracketing photographs, and you do it automatically that way. In the next video I make later on, I'm going to show you how to blend the 3 images to make your HDR photos. So thanks for coming along. If you got some useful information out of this video, give me a thumbs up, like, I really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. My name's Ron Durant. I'm a photographer and I live in East Tennessee. Y'all have a nice evening now. Bye-bye. In this video, I'm going to show you how to combine 3 photographs I took as an HDR set in Lightroom. Okay, here we are in Lightroom, and I've already imported the 3 photographs from the camera card. These are the 3 images I took in the previous video I did about setting your Nikon Z6ii up for HDR photography. So what we're looking at here is the first photograph here is the base exposure, and the second photograph was 2 stops under, and the third photograph was 2 stops over. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Lightroom to blend these in. And what I'm going to do is in the film strip below, I'm going to go up here to the grid view, and I'm going to select all 3 photographs by holding down the shift key and clicking in the middle of the picture to get all of them selected. Then I'm going to do one of 2 things. I can either do a right click and go down to photo merge and do HDR. Okay, I can do it that way, or I can do Control H on a Mac to get it directly. So I'm going to come through the menu like that. So again, it's right click on the one of the images, go to photo merge and do HDR. And when it starts, I have all the boxes checked: auto align, auto settings, and create a stack. And then I'm just going to say merge. Okay. The name of that file is got an HDR prefix after it, and it's a DNG file. So as you can see, this is the merged file, and if you want to see the other 3 files, they're down here in the stack. You can just unclick that right there, and it'll show you the other 3 pictures. This was the base exposure, 2 stops under, 2 stops over, and this is the the merged version. Lightroom has selected the settings for you in there so you can see what it's done. I'm not going to change any of that. I might tweak it a little bit. One of the things I noticed right away is the white balance is off, so I'm just going to move it over towards the cooler side just a little bit. Yeah, these handles are blue and my chair is blue. That's my workstation over there. Don't look at that. Anyways, what I'm going to do now is I'm really not going to do anything. I just wanted to show you how to blend them. So it's a pretty good image there, it's pretty sharp. I think I'm going to apply a little bit of sharpening to it. Let's go under Lightroom sharpening, and I'm going to select medium sharpening. This is my medium sharpening settings. Then I'm going to hold down the shift key and apply, the alt key, and apply a mask to this. And these are just the areas that's going to sharpen right there. And I think I'm going to crop it. We'll go ahead and hit the R key for crop. And I believe what I'm going to do is make it a 1-to-1 crop, a square crop. Let's do it like this. And maybe we'll just go a little bit more. Let's just do this. Let's just get down to the chair part. Let's crop it like that. So as you can see, it's a pretty sharp image. Looks pretty good. Anyways, that's how you combine HDR images, and then you just edit them like you normally would, okay? So there you go. That's how you blend the three images in Lightroom to make one image, and then you go on with your editing process after that. So if you got some use out of this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up with it, please. I really appreciate it. And y'all have a nice evening now. Bye-bye.